What's up, world? You already know who it is. Your favorite director, Maurice Paramore, aka Mr. Dream Boy, and we are here with another episode of Direct Your Success, where you are in charge of your own destiny. All we need you to do is get up and go get it. I'm super excited today because I have a good, solid brother with me, an artist, a producer, businessman, a brother of mine, good friend, more importantly than all of that. And I just want to introduce my man to the show, E.Dot the Sound Man, aka Dave Austin, aka Exquisite, my brother, man.
I appreciate you having me, man.
Yo, man, we go back like
It's forever.
25, 30 joints.
Yeah, man, that's a long time. Just a long time,
long
man.
time,
Like,
man.
called your mom, you called my mom.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like,
just love, man.
Literally. Yeah.
And I appreciate that a lot, man, because it's not that many people that can say they've been friends with somebody that long. Well, we ain't even friends no more. It's family, but like, yo, you know how many times people have fallouts and you like, yo, what happened to X, Y? You like, I don't even know, you know what I mean? But we always been solid since day one, bro. You know what I mean? So how you doing, man? Like, how's everything going? How's your year going so far?
I think it's going as scheduled.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I can't really say it's here or there. I think it's just going as scheduled.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think a lot of times, you know, we take the end of the year to figure out how we're going to start this year. But what I did a little different was I took the first month to really like flesh out how I wanted to attack the year. You know what I'm saying? I took some time to myself. I think a lot of times when the ball drop, we try to hit the ground running and we running. But by the time March, April come, you done ran out of steam. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So I said, you know what? I ain't even going to bum rush the game right now. I'm going to just kind of like plan, take it easy, have some grace, and let it kind of happen organically. You know what I mean?
Peace.
Let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about a little bit of this music thing, man. You know what I mean? Because, you know, we go way back when it comes to the
Absolutely.
music. You know what I'm
Karaoke
saying?
machines, all that. If y'all, you know what I mean? If you don't know about that, then. You know what I'm saying?
You don't know about the DATs and all
the
that.
karaoke machines,
karaoke's,
and the multi-trackers, tape decks, and all that. Yeah, we can
But
get into it.
That's so funny, though, because you remember when we first started doing music, it was like over karaoke machines where you just press record and you had to do the whole song in one take. Literally, we talking about the verses, we talking about the hooks, we talking about anything that you want on a track had to happen on one track.
Right.
And when we had features, you know, I do a verse, my man waiting to come, do his verse.
Yo, whoever had the last verse, you was the most pivotal.
Yeah.
You was, if you messed up in the verse, everybody had to do it over. Like you was the pivotal piece of that whole song. Like the third person, whoever was the third person, you had to, or whoever was the last.
He had to be nice and he had to be sharp. You know what I mean? Because if he didn't catch his verse, we all got to do all ours over. But the respect that I have for you is, if I'm not mistaken, you was the first person that I know that ever had the multi-track recorder.
Okay.
Because and I think you had a 4-track recorder.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you got to think about it. We was doing everything off of one track. So you would think 4 tracks is not that many, but it's actually just enough to do a song. Because what you could really do is, all right, you go take one track. Maybe you want to do all your verses, right? The second track, you might want to do the hooks. And you still got 2 tracks for just the ad-libs, you know, just any little thing you want to kind of add. You really
might
only
have to bounce
need
it. You know what I'm saying? Like you might have to bounce it just to create more tracks. You know what I'm saying? Like so, it's a tricky thing. You know what I'm saying? Like it was a lot of learning.
Yeah.
Like it's very simple now. You know what I'm saying? They got the digital thing. They just push a button. But before you had to have you had to learn these machines and all that. That's what I think is really the big difference. Now the learning curve on those machines and stuff was a lot. It was a lot more difficult, a lot more patience you had to have. You know what I'm saying?
Right. It's a little different now.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. Like, how did you get into like music, man? Because when I met you, I think I was in the 6th grade when we met. And
middle school, bro.
Yeah, that's middle school. You know what I mean? I was probably like 13. And I think a little bit after that, it's kind of like when I got into the music.
Right.
You know, I was always into music, you know, just being a fan, but like actually, you know, writing raps and all that. It was all around the time that, you know, we all started linking up. But you might have been tapped in a little bit before that. How'd you get into the music? Or when did you get into the music?
I'm gonna keep it all the way 100. I think like my father was the one that introduced, because like one thing my dad did, he played all types of music throughout the house. Like when I growing up, I've heard everything: opera, rap, rock, soul, everything you can imagine. I done heard. So I was hearing. So, also, going to church and everything. At one point I was a part of the choir.
Right.
So I would say a lot of it started around that time, like when I was like being more in the church and stuff and more heavy into that. Like any musician or whatever or producer, they start out somewhere like the church.
Right.
So, but my dad had always had equipment around the house. He had like, I remember he had some old like I don't know, some type of 808 drum machine he had.
Okay.
Then he had like turntables and all that stuff. And I used to watch him cut reels and stuff. Like he had a reel tape. Yeah. I didn't know what he was doing at the time, but you know what I'm saying? Like it made more sense later on. So it's like as a kid, I was always bought like keyboards and stuff like that. My dad was kind of like throwing those things in there, but he kind of birthed a musician from it. You know what I'm saying? He birthed a producer from it. So, I have pictures with me as a baby with a drum set, and we had all types of, like I said, little keyboards and stuff, Casio keyboards and stuff. So he kind of always kept us involved with the music, kind of like, and so that's why I would say the music started through him, basically. Him just
doing his thing.
Yeah, channeled
and then
it.
You stumbling across it and you pique your interest. Like, you know what? I might want to. I like that. It's something about that. I like,
I was the kid that, expression. When your dad told you not to touch something,
you know what I'm saying? Anyway.
Like my dad might be taping something for somebody who had a reel to reel going while he's went out or something. He'd be like, "Don't touch this,"
right?
And I'd be like, "You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and touch it." I was on that note. That's you know what I'm saying.
It all comes from somewhere. That first initial interest of like that music is just something about it, right? It's just something about it. Definitely something about the analog era. You know what I'm saying? It's because absolutely. It's just a sound that's like. What's so dope about analog? You can't just like how the computer is. You record something, you don't like it, you can just delete it. Right. But like the reel to reel type of thing, it's there. Yeah. It's on the reel. You know what I mean? Like you can hear it, and it's not so easy to just get rid of all the imperfections. Like you can hear the breathing. You know what I'm saying? Like you can hear. I'm tapping in.
You feel the essence.
Yeah, you feel the essence.
Energy. Like you feel the actual essence in the record. Which is to this day, like when you turn on a vinyl or a tape or something, you actually feeling the essence of that room or what those people were doing. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So it's like, absolutely.
Yeah, that's dope. Yeah,
absolutely.
So when did you know that you wanted to like, all right, I want to do this long term? You know what I'm saying? Because when you growing up, when you 13 or 14, man, you got the whole world in front of you. Right. You can do anything, right? They always ask you what you want to be when you grow up. You know what I'm saying? And brothers like you and me, we always gravitated to the entertainment. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. Whether it was music, whether it was fashion, whether it was movies, we just always gravitated to the arts and the craft. You know what I mean? So when did it like become this is the lane for me?
I think it was always in me once I got really into it, involved with it. Like, it was just fun. It was just, you know what I'm saying? I just felt so alive when I did it. I think when I was growing up and I seen like, I really understood that's what I wanted to do when I seen like DJ Premier or something. Like, it was like one of those videos he was in. I was like seeing him DJ and or Dr. Dre. Like when I seen him DJ, and I was like, yo, I want to do that. And we grew up on movies like Juice and B Street and
where music was such a big part of it. You know what I mean?
So when we growing up in these things, as a kid, you finding your way in life or whatever, and you trying to find like what is it that I want to do. But it was like I was so interested and always connected to that, like what the DJ was doing, what the artist was doing, right? So and like I said, it's just like my pops also was like he did plays and he was the the sound man or the engineer. Well, they called him the sound man back in the day, but the engineers plays and musicals and stuff like that. So I was always gravitated to that part of it, like the behind the scenes part. So I would say around maybe like you said 13 or so, I was really getting more involved. Like I used to always ask my dad, let me get your turntables, because my dad wasn't utilizing them like that. So I'd be like, yo, let me get your turntables. Like, let me get that. And he'd be always say, no. You know what I'm saying? Like, wait. Or he would deny me. And then eventually one day he let me take the turntables, and, that's when
play with it a little bit.
Yeah. That's when it got serious. That's when I knew
right.
I was like, all right, yeah, this is what I want to do. You know what I'm saying?
That's dope.
So, yeah.
So talking about that in general too, like DJing, right? Because that's kind of like how it all started, everything, like, break beats, all of that type of stuff.
Right.
But I want to talk about just the producer side real quick. And, it's different ways to produce a record.
Right.
You can literally be playing on some keys, you can sample a record.
Right.
You can kind of sit back and just orchestrate, I need you to play this, you play it like this, get some people to play some instruments like this.
Right.
It's different ways, all forms of producing. But I want to talk about the one thing in general, and which is like sampling, right?
Okay.
Some people knock the sample producer,
Right.
They look at it as a form of like DJing, like, he's just kind of like playing records. But it's an art behind that, right? Like, what's your take on that, and talking to the people where it's not just somebody playing a record or redoing something that's already been done, but added some sauce to it?
It's funny that there's people that actually can play, that actually play and do, and they can't do what a hip hop producer can do. You know what I'm saying? And they find that like amazing. Mm-hmm. Like they be like, yo, that's amazing how you could take this sample and then come up with this. You know what I'm saying? Thing. I think it people gotta understand what hip hop is. There was a time when instruments was taken out of school. There was time like there was a thing that developed in cult. This thing cultivated and became what it is now. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
evolved.
It wasn't just, okay, I'm gonna take this record and and sample it. It actually was a process to it. You know what I'm saying? Marley Marl came and did, and it's a couple producers that brought different elements to it and made sampling something even major. Like prime example, like I said, Marley Marl, he brought the aspect of sampling drums and stuff like that. That was never involved before, like that. When it came to sampling music. Right. So he brought like drums. So now, him figuring that out, he was taking drums from this record. Right. Then he might have took a sample from this record and then another strings from this record. So when you doing all that, you're creating something new and fresh. You know what I'm saying? It might not have been you playing it, but it had the essence of somebody playing. You know what I'm saying? And I think, it's to each his own. Everybody has their own opinion of it, but I think it's art because not everybody can sample and sound dope.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I said, there's people that actually can play and they're wowed by like how a person can take a sample and make something
and make it
incredible. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right. So it's like to each his own how they feel about it. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, as far as me as a hip hopper or people that's of the hip hop culture, that's the element of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it's basically taking something from nothing, and that's what hip hop is. You took something out of nothing and you created something.
And it's constantly evolving.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like you have the samplers, you have people that can create a whole track by themselves. Then you got people that are bringing a whole band, a whole team, and like Dr. Dre, and you on the keys with it. I'm gonna hit the bass. My man gonna do the drums.
Right.
And it just became, like you said, it really evolved from where it started.
Right.
But people still keep that essence in there. You know what I mean?
It's all now. It's everything now. Yeah. You got people that have a sample and then they'll play on top of it. It's like I said, it keeps going further now. You know what I'm saying? It's evolving now. It's even, it's going back to, people also playing as well now. You know what I mean? So it's not just, all right, I hit this and I sample this and, and that's what it is. It's kind of flattery. If your record gets sampled, people mess with your record.
dope.
You know what I'm saying?
And it keeps the people that
They
that
get their chance to really shine. Like people go back to
go back,
when you sample record, people might be like, oh, that was I used to remember my dad do that all the time. That was, oh, you sampled this is I remember that record. You know what I'm saying? So
and I think it bridges the gap between the older folks and the younger folks because a lot of times we'll sample an older record and we'll make it so fire now that the younger people think that this is the original record.
Right.
And then they go back and hear the original record and they like, oh, I didn't even know this came from that. And then you got the older the older people that might hear some new stuff and they like, I like how they did that.
Right, exactly.
It got a vibe. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like it keeps the artists alive,
Absolutely.
It keeps them getting paid. Like it's so many it's like a full circle moment. And there's so many good things that come from that where, I don't see anything wrong with it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it's a good thing.
It's all love.
Yeah, it's all love. And
there is the factions of people that are the greedy, people off it, but in the essence of it, it's really all love. You see what I'm saying? Like, I could sample something from, Teddy Pendergrass or something. I might fit and write a rap to it, but me and Teddy are talking the same thing. I'm just doing it updated now. I couldn't. I don't have that band he had. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm just gonna rap kind of what he was feeling. You know what I'm saying? And create that same vibe, or that's the vibe I want of the record. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's a form of flattery, definitely. You know what I'm saying? Because we grew up on these records.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? We grew up in these.
Yeah. And it's a beautiful thing to be able to hear something, revamped or giving a new vibe on something that you grew up on and you love.
Right.
I love when somebody spin an old record and kill it, take it further. You know what I'm saying? Push the culture. I think it's all about pushing the culture forward, right? That's all we trying to do. We want to constantly evolve. Some people are going to like the evolution of it. Some people aren't, some people going to be stuck in their ways. But overall, it's like, you don't want to see it just die. Because if it's something ain't moving, it's dying. You either moving or you getting worse, or it's staying still. So it's important to just keep things moving and figuring out how to do it different, do it fresh. You know what I mean? But like you said, it's all love at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's all love.
Staying with the producer theme, like how important is the producer, would you say?
We put the records together. You know what I mean? It's you're not gonna just listen to somebody rhyme. You right? You know what I'm saying? So like, I don't know what else to say. That's how important we are. You know what I mean? We make the record go. We give the record its final looks. If the record if it's not right, we to blame.
Right.
A lot of times we to blame. You know what I mean, for it not being right. So the producer is very important, especially when it comes to the record making process. You know what I'm saying? Process.
Right. Would you what now? What's the producer's job? I know it's different ways to produce a record, but if you're working with an artist, what is your job? What are you looking to accomplish? How are you looking to get to the end game? Like, is it just all right, I'm gonna provide the beat, you go off and do your thing, or do you still kind of like have input on the record? Like how do you produce a record?
If you can't call yourself a producer, I think, if you don't have input on the record. Our job is to make sure that any vision of the artist comes together. Like I said, if we don't make it that way, then and the record's not good, then people are gonna look at they're gonna look at what why the producer. And you don't heard it several times in music. Oh, this producer, he shouldn't have produced this record. They should have got a different producer for the record or for the album and stuff like that. Remember the whole situation with go back in the day, like Cannabis or something. Yeah. They was trying to say like Wyclef wasn't the right producer. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's important that we are hands on. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Speaking of that, like how do you like producing? I think times have changed, because when we like did records back in the day, and yes, I'm an artist. For y'all that don't know, I'm an artist as well. When we used to do records back in the day, we in the same room.
Right.
You know, we listen to the tracks together.
Yeah.
We cooking up at the same time. Like,
absolutely.
how do you feel about working with artists that's more on like a virtual remote type of thing, where it's like you just sending a record to somebody and they sending something back? Do you care for that, or do you rather be in a room with somebody cooking?
I'm be honest. I'd rather be in a room. Like I think that works for some people. It does work, but I think first and foremost, if you work with somebody, y'all at least should have the being together in the room experience first before you just start sending records. Like I think y'all need to get a vibe or see where y'all stand. See where you stand creatively.
Yeah, see if this even makes sense.
Vibes, and not just vibes per se. You know, that's the thing now. Vibes, like the term vibes, but I think you just need to see a person's work effort live.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because like sometimes as a producer, you could play something and you could just look at somebody and be like, nah, he's not feeling that, or he might be feeling that, or you could catch what people are getting from the record.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You can't get that by sending it. You know what I mean? So I love that's the aspect I like. You know what I'm saying? Watching the artist and be like, how is he reacting to the record? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Does he like the horns? Does he like keyboards? Does he like, triangles, whatever the fuck it is. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, I think you should have that in person first before. I like to personally do records in person. I think the vibes are better.
Right.
I think it's like, you can catch it better. You know, I think records come out better like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? But, that's the era of things now. You know, a lot of people, push the send it. To this day, I have trouble sending records. You know what I'm saying? Like, people tell you all the time, like, I don't
want to just send you no record.
Right, yeah. I be like, we go to the studio, let's go to the studio.
What me as an artist, when I'm writing records, I like writing records in real time. I grew up writing records in real time.
Right.
In the sense that like we was pretty much recording the records that we were writing right then and there.
Right.
You know what I mean? It wasn't too often that we would write a record, come back to it tomorrow. You send me a beat and then I send you. It didn't work like that. When we used to rap, when I used to have my first home studio, which was karaoke type of stuff, it was all of us in the same room. We'll find an instrumental. We'll write the joint right there. Right. And if you wasn't nice enough to have the record done right then and there, then you wasn't gonna make this record.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you took too long, okay, it might be 6 or 7 people in the room. Only 3 gonna make the record. So it's like, who ready? Who got it? And who ill enough? You know what I mean? But what that also did, it sharpened everybody.
Right. Absolutely.
Because before the world was going to hear it, it was about the people that was in that room.
Right.
And I say all of that to say, when I'm working with a producer, my first job is to impress the producer.
Right.
That's me. Like, I want to make sure he love it. Like, ooh, it's hitting.
Right.
Because if you don't respect and love the record, I don't think it's going. What is it going to do to the thing? But it's just like an exercise to me. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay. It for me, it always helped me write because I know. See, it's like this. When you got a record and you can give it to somebody tomorrow, next week, whatever, you can kind of get a little lazy with the record. You know what I'm saying? But when we writing today and you're about to hear this record, I know I gotta hit you with the best type of material.
Right.
Like it's that like unwritten pressure of like I gotta kill it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that's a benefit of working with a producer. It feels like a lot of people, they just cooking up records and they just letting it fly before anybody hear it. They not getting no stamp of approval. Because back in the day, like, you write a verse. If that verse ain't hitting, like, you get, ask the people in the room, nah, you can do better than that. Okay, now we going to rewrite this record and it's going to come, you know what I mean? We going to get it right. Where it's like, you could tell people are not in a room with these artists. They don't got the right people around saying, this ain't it. You could do better than that. Come harder. You know what I'm saying? I think like that with art in general, but I think that's one of the other important reasons why it's good to work with a producer in the room. Because y'all working with each other and it's like, that ain't it. And just like an artist might be like, add that last little sound. Or you know what? When I'm rapping, take that one sound out because it's kind of overpowering me. Bring it back in for the hook. And it's like, that's how that marriage is. And that's what I miss and I'm gonna transition into that. Unless you have anything else to add to that.
Yeah, you pretty much said it. Like how you feel is how I feel. Like I mean, it's just you might say it wrong.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You might have the right lyrics, but you saying it wrong. And that's what the producer's going to say. He's going to say, nah, say it like this.
Right.
You know what I mean? Do it like that. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Yeah.
Everything you're saying is spot on.
So picking up from that producer-rapper relationship, which I think is very important, how do you feel about the one producer, one artist type albums, where it's pretty much one or two producers doing a whole album versus a whole collective? I'm getting 2 beats from you. I'm getting 2 beats from you. Like you don't see a lot of that often right now. You got the Nas and Hit Boy type of thing, but like, how do you feel about that?
I like both, but what the one producer, that's the essence. That's the essence. Like you don't really find that no more. And I mean, to me, a producer that could produce a whole project, like per se, like a Hit Boy and Nas, and be able to capture all the different components of an album.
Right.
I think that's excellent. That's because that you have to take time with that. You have to. There's got to be it's got to be a lot of things involved with that.
Right.
You have to have a certain chemistry involved with that. The producer itself has to have they gotta be legit. They gotta be nice.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because you gotta think about you're making music. A lot of different types of styles of beats. You know what I'm saying? You gotta make maybe your single. You gotta make. I don't even think it's that. It's just. You have to make an album with one producer is it takes a lot of you have to be really a student of the craft.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I think with the one producers, that's the essence. I think collaborative efforts is always great too. Mm-hmm. We've gotten a lot of great albums with collaborative efforts. You know what I'm saying? So I like both.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I can't knock one over the other. I could just say one is more of essence driven than the other.
Than the others. And like they said, they both have their place because
right.
I think which was a dope perspective is watching like the Black Album,
right.
The documentary and all of that. When you see how, they put whole album together, it wasn't just one producer, you know what I'm saying? You had records from Kanye, you had records from Just Blaze, Pharrell, Rick Rubin, and it was dope, but what worked is they all had it was a theme to the album. Right. You know what I'm saying? This was supposed to be his last album. It was supposed to be, we sending you off. Right. You know what I mean? So everybody felt that energy. And I think they brought it brought the greatness out of each other. It was like,
absolutely.
You sending records like that?
Right.
I got to go back in the lab and cook up like that. So it was like a healthy competition thing, which is important. You know what I mean? And I like both. I like when, I think ultimately what I'm looking for as a fan is a body of work or a project that feels like a complete body of work. It feels like it's one thing. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't sound like a playlist.
Especially like coming from one person.
Yeah.
That I don't think people. If you're not a producer, I don't think people understand how difficult that is. Mm-hmm. Especially coming from one. Now, when you're doing that with one producer, that's difficult. Yeah. That's like, you know what I'm saying? Y'all really gotta have a dope chemistry to bring that. Yeah, to bring that out.
Gotta be there because it's an album. You know, your album is supposed to take you here, it's supposed to take you low, it's supposed to take you there. Right. You're supposed to vibe, you're supposed to party, you're supposed to cry. Like I want to feel all of that in the album. Yeah,
it's a spectrum. You know what I mean? That you gotta feel.
Yeah, I want to know how this artist this is made album. It may have took you a year to put this album together. Right. 2 years or whatever. I want to be able to tap into your life within that year, right? Whatever you was feeling and going through, and whatever you wanted to express. So it's like I want to feel all of that in an album. Right. You know what I mean? Like I don't want it to feel like a playlist. Right. And I think a lot of artists and a lot of music today, when you get albums, they don't feel like true albums. At least the way I want an album to feel.
I get what you're saying.
Some of them you do. But I want to feel a complete body of work. Like, somebody had a theme. Like, I miss the themes with the albums. You know what I mean? Where you might have skits. Like, when Redman, when you hear an album, you're going to have he had the Dr. Trevor's joint where it was like a whole theme behind it. You know what I mean? Like the Doggy Style album had a whole theme.
Right.
I love that because to me, I'm looking for a complete body of work.
It's a story.
Yeah, a theme,
Yeah,
a
it's
complete.
a story.
I want to open the book, I want to read the middle, and I want to end with a closure.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't want to feel a bunch of shit where it just feel like it's all just thrown together.
Right.
You know
I
what I'm
got
saying?
you.
So that's kind of where I'm with the music. Like, how do you feel about, the shift of music? And when I say the shift of music, the business aspect of it. Like, we went from, cassette tapes or really albums to cassette tapes to CDs to, I think streaming was pretty much at the CDs. And now it's kind of like the Wild Wild West. You know what I mean?
Right.
And me personally, my favorite era was probably tapes and CDs. You know what I mean? Because I love the fact that
that was my favorite era. You know what I
know.
mean? Because to be honest, the business aspect of it is crazy now. Because it's like you're really not gonna make money off the music now. You're really not making money off the music now. It's like,
yeah,
it's because what was good about the tapes and CDs, those were tangible things. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like I could run up on somebody, yo, I got this tape, $10. You know what I'm saying? Somebody, oh yeah, all right, cool, here's $10. You know what I'm saying? Now it's like if you getting it for free, like you could just go up and listen to it. It's like
Right.
there's no, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The transaction it's no major transaction.
Yeah.
And then the transaction you get with being an artist on these platforms is they giving you 0.33 of, you know what I'm saying, a cent or whatever. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it's like you're not the artist is it was a good thing, but at the same thing it was a bad thing. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Cause I can get my music out
fast.
and everybody can hear it, but like I'm not being able to really support myself. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know what I mean? It's still like the thing that we thought would make it better, it did make it better in one way, but it's killing us in another. So
Right.
I think I mean it's changed. The game is drastically definitely changed. You know what I'm saying? Like it's more like the music's more like a commercial for something now.
Right.
And I think that's how artists got to look at it now. It's like you're not really going to get paid off your music. So now it's like, okay, how can I get this music in a movie now? Or how can I get this music on a commercial now?
Yeah.
How can I get this music as a jingle for a product now? Or now you have to have your own market. Your own merch.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Merchandise, this.
Right.
You gotta have toys, mugs,
yeah,
whatever it
trophy
is.
mug,
You know what I'm saying? Like,
you know what I'm
get
saying?
it right.
T-shirts, all that. So it's like I think it's going to strengthen us in another way because I think it makes the artist got to be a better salesman now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's kind of it's whack, but I think it still can work.
Right.
Per se, it's just how bad
do
it's how bad you paying attention to
the market.
to the market,
and you got to be smart.
right
With your thing.
Absolutely.
Because
and that's everything. Now,
yeah,
just in everything in general.
and it's like what I think what the music does now, like you said, it's hard to get it. I mean, I don't know how much you're gonna make off these streams and all this stuff. It's
Right.
not as like how it was with a CD. Where it's
Right.
like, all right, CD costs $15. You may have X amount of points on it.
Right.
We sell 1 million copies. This is
Yeah.
what I'm gonna get paid.
Right.
Streaming it's just not like that.
Yeah.
So I think you got to be very strategic with your moves, with your marketing, and I think you need to use the music to help the other aspects of your business.
Yeah.
Whether it's to sell merch, whether it's people got clothing lines now. People got, liquor businesses and all of that. You got to kind of use that to do the other things. You know what I'm saying? Like, I follow like Rick Ross and people like that where it's like, they doing great business, but all their money ain't coming from the music. You know what I mean? That's just what's keeping them in your face. That's keeping them relevant. And that's how we connected to them. But you got to use that to kind of like bring some other things out. You know what I mean? When the money going to come, but you just got to get creative. We got to be creative.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's the Wild Wild West. Anybody can. We can make a record tonight and have it out tomorrow where millions can hear it. Right. Like you couldn't do that with the CD era.
Yeah.
So in a way that's a pro, but the con is that everybody else could do the same thing, right? So you can easily get lost in the sauce. Your music can get lost because there's so much out there. But I think ultimately still though, the rawness, the realness, the best music still gonna get found.
Yeah, it's.
You're still gonna find your way.
Yeah, I just you have to become a studier of yourself, really.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I said, I think what made it crazy nowadays, because you figure like before, music was just kind of its own lane. You know what I'm saying? So now you got music is in together with Mercs, is together with now movies. So it's like it's all mashed together now. Like even kind of you can't even call yourself just a record label anymore. It's like you kind of like a spectrum of things now, because you're a magazine now, you're podcast, you're all these things became involved now.
Right.
So it's like now you have to just think in a more an approach now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's hard to be unique, because somebody else might take what you're doing now. So it's like it's more like you have to find your folks of people that like what you do, and you just have to figure out how to stay marketing to those people.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like I said, one thing aspect it killed, you know, it's killing music in a way, but at the same time, it's actually making the artist more smarter. You have to be a little bit more smarter now to get what you
stuff out there.
It can work. It all works, but it just you gotta be smart about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think
that's where we at now. You know, as far as the music thing.
Indie or major?
I don't see like me personally, my personal opinion. I don't see a point of signing the major.
No.
Because, like, you got LinkedIn, you got, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got the same people that you was looking, there's no middleman no more.
Yeah. You can go directly to the source.
Yeah, you get direct to the consumer,
people,
so it's like,
you know what I mean? So
it's harder,
really
but, yeah.
You know, you don't get the machine behind you.
Right.
But you have more control over your art. That's
right.
the biggest thing for me. That's why I call the show Direct Your Success, because you are in control of your own destiny, right? We are the directors of our lives, our careers, whatever that case is.
Right.
So, you know, when you give up so much equity in your business and your brand, you lose that automatically, whether you like it or not, right? You have to answer to somebody else. Like Dame always said, you have to, whoever's putting up the money has all the power, believe it or not. You know what I mean? So you have to be like strategic about your partnerships, you know, your points, ownership, all of those things, because you'll miss it, you'll lose it. You know what I mean? You'll sell all these records and be crying broke next year. You know what I mean? So you have to be very strategic about your business. And indie and freedom that's everything for me, man. You know what I mean? Like I'm a filmmaker. I like to make films the way I like to make films. I like to put them out the way that I want to put them out. I want to be on set, producing them the way I want to produce. I don't want somebody over my shoulder. And whoever's putting up the money has the control at the end of the day, right? They have the biggest risk. So, I understand why you say indie or major. So why are people still trying to become major artists?
Well,
major record labels, I should say.
The point of honestly, the point of a major right now to do it now is, I think it's like this: if you want to be the artist that controls your creative standpoint of like what you do or whatever, you want to rock indie. Now, if you indie, doesn't mean that you can't find an investor. You can't, you know what I'm saying? I think indie's just like more of like you have more say so over your creative aspect, right? If you're joining with a major, is only kind of one reason to do that, is that you want to be a worldwide artist. You want to be heard everywhere. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be, okay, I'm just in New Jersey.
Right.
I want to be heard everywhere.
Right.
And I think that's kind of the aspect of why, or that's kind of the reason why a person will want to go, all right, I'm going to go join, I want a major. Or I want to partner with a major. Like, honestly, if I was to get it, I want to partner with a major. I wouldn't want to be really too much under the major.
You don't want to be signed to a label.
Fully. I would rather partner with a major versus like where they could say, all right, well, look, we'll distribute it for you, or we'll pretty much push it for you. But you take care of your part, we'll take care of our part. And we, that's the marriage of...
We build it from there.
Yeah, we build it from there. That's... If I was to sign to a major, that's what I would want.
That's just how you would want to do it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to be signed to you. I want to partner with you.
Yeah, nah, I definitely get that. That's like me. Like, I think when we young, we all want to be on that level, right? You want to
Right.
be superstars. You want to be out there. You want to be on the billboards and stuff like that because we grew up seeing superstars, seeing these people that come from urban areas to becoming like global stars and icons, and it's
Right.
like, yo, I aspire. I want to be like that.
Right.
Um, but the times have changed. You know what
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
saying? People are way smarter with the business.
Yeah.
We got jerked over for so many years, for so long. People that deserve so much has lost so much. Like, and that's why going back to the sampling aspect, I love that a lot of these older artists is now getting checks and you know getting new deals, and that was like a good thing with like the verses because when verses came out, it was all about showing love to all. It was about giving flowers to all the artists
Right.
that meant
Absolutely.
stuff to us,
And never
and
really got that chance
yeah,
to
they never
get it.
got their
Yeah.
chance to really get it the way they wanted. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? After that, streams went up and people bought albums and all this other stuff, and I was like,
Right.
this is dope. You know what I mean? From that aspect, but yeah, you got to be smarter,
Yeah.
smarter now with the business and smarter with the marketing.
The
So,
sharks never change, man. You know what I'm saying?
no,
There's
and
always
no
going to
matter
be
what game
sharks.
it is.
Yeah, no matter what game it is. So it's like when you come in, it's just part of that. Like, if you even successful in it, that's what comes along with it. There's going to be the sharks, the wolves, and the tigers, the bears. All that's going to be a part of it. So I think it's just what we're really talking about is leverage.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? You just want to make sure you have your leverage.
yeah,
So if you do decide to say, hey, look, I want to partner or I want to, do this deal with a label, you have that leverage to say, no, I don't want this.
yeah,
I don't want that. This, you know what I mean? And some of us are not even about that. Like me personally, I don't care about the fame. Give me a
right,
check. You know what I
right.
mean? As long as I can get my check and that check allows me to keep doing what I love to do,
Yeah,
I'm
you
cool.
winning. Yeah,
To me personally, I don't like the whole industry part of it. You know what I mean? I like to be able to just make some music, put it out, do whatever I gotta do with my market,
right.
and go back and go make some more records.
Yeah, that's
You
what
know what I'm
it's
saying?
about.
I think that's what I mean, for me, that's what I kind of always was in it for.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
that's dope. So, what's going on for the year? What are you working on? What are you kind of looking to get out of the year?
I'm honestly trying to get involved with as many projects as I can, in a sense, within the within not doing everything, but like having enough out there. Like, not I don't want to work with everybody. But there's certain individuals that I want to work with,
Right.
and I think I want to do a lot of small projects with a lot of different people, and just like do a lot of just a lot of work, and I want to get on some TV shows, some movies.
Right.
I think my lane right now is really that's where I'm aiming at to really now, just to be more of a part of the TV and the movie aspect
Got you.
of music.
Got
You
you.
know what I'm saying?
Definitely. And
That's where it's at, podcasts, all that stuff. So jingles,
it all needs music.
yeah,
It all
everything
needs
needs music. So I'm more or less. I think it's not so much of just putting out songs and stuff like that, but making these songs and putting them in situations. Like I said, movies
Yeah.
where that
Soundtrack. The soundtrack to whatever it is.
conceptual songs and
Yeah.
things of that nature.
That's super dope.
Yeah,
Yeah, man. Definitely gotta get you involved with some of the movie stuff, man. Because
absolutely.
everything needs music, man. And
Yeah.
music is a big part of everything
It's
that I do.
everything.
You know what I'm
Learning.
saying? Yeah.
Everything.
You know what I
Like,
mean?
you know what I mean?
Everybody,
You still
yeah.
remember A, B, C. You still
All of
remember that.
All of that.
You know what I'm saying? That's the
All of
music.
that.
You still learn that. You still remember those things. So music is a tool. It's everything. It's everything. So yeah.
So, what advice do you have for any artist that's just out there? Any words of wisdom you want to leave the people with, that's doing music, whether producers, artists, because you as an artist yourself, you know what I mean, a producer, all of that stuff. Any words of wisdom?
I would just say, and whatever you love to do artist wise, study it. Study the greats. Read books on the greats. See what they went through. You know what I'm saying? study your craft. Be willing to learn old and new things. You know what I mean? Don't just, some of us get stuck in the, oh, I'm just gonna be this, or but learn old and new things. If you're an old dog, you can learn a few new things.
Right.
If you're a new cat, you can learn some old things. You don't see it. It benefits it all. It benefits everybody. You know what I'm saying? So I would just say, be a real student of what you do. Learn the insides and outs. So every day you should be putting some type of effort to what you love to do. You know what I'm saying? If you're not making beats, you should be learning about great people that made beats. If you're not learning about great people that made beats, you should be learning the business aspect of making beats, setting a business model, strategy. Every day you should be doing something
to improve your craft.
Something to improve your craft. You know what I mean? Something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's pretty much my take. And at the same time, ain't about advice. You know what to do. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, a lot of us know what to do. We just don't do it. You know what I mean? So if you do those things, it's going to work out for you.
Everything is going to pan out,
Period.
man. There you go. There you have it. All right, man. Let the people know where they can find you, how to tap in with you, how to get beats from you. Your Instagrams, your handles, all of that. Tell the people, where to get at you.
Basically, the easiest way to get at me is Instagram, which is _E.Dot. That's the best place to get at me. You can hit my Gmail also, IamE.7@gmail.com. Drop me a message. But Instagram is the best place. You know what I'm saying? It's right directly to me. So eventually I'll have a 1-800 number or something soon too.
You already know, man. That's how we doing it. We still hit me on it. Yo, y'all can still hit me on my next tail, man. You know what I mean? It's all good. Hit me however you gotta hit me. I'm gonna send y'all with the chirpy chirp. Crazy. You know what I mean? But we want to thank y'all for tuning in, man. I hope y'all are inspired, because that's what it's all about. Inspiring and being inspired, and being in charge of your own destiny. So go out there, go make something happen, go direct your own success, whatever it is. You don't have to be in the arts. You don't have to be a businessman. But whatever you're trying to do in this world, whatever you're trying to do in your life, you are the director of it. You are in charge. So go direct your success and go help somebody else do the same thing. Come in, tell us about it. Come sit down and let's have a conversation about it, man, because we all need inspiration. We all need love, and we all need to be pushed. And I want to thank y'all. Direct your success. I'm your favorite director, and I will see y'all next time. But make sure y'all go like and subscribe, and tap in with us next week. All right? Peace.
Peace.